Hello, hello everyone. It's Evie here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about something that's really important to me and to this community. And that is, how did Pride Month begin? If you do enjoy this different type of video, then leave a like, subscribe. Don't forget to join the Discord and Blue Sky as well, so you don't miss any of our announcements and news and events. Yeah, let's get straight into today's video. So, since I don't know a whole lot about this, we're just gonna go by Google. I know that might seem bad since I'm trans and I I should have done research on this big time, but yeah. So we're just gonna go by Google. So, when did the Stonewall Uprising begin? The Stonewall White series of violent confrontations that began in the early hours of June 28, 1969, between police and gay rights activists outside the Stonewall Inn, a gay bar in Greenwich Village section of New York City. As the riots progressed, an international gay rights movement was born. Why do we celebrate Pride Month? Pride Month is a yearly celebration in June that honors the LGBTQIA plus community. The culture, history, and ongoing fight for equality recognition. It commemorates the Stonewall Uprising in 1969, which sparked the gay liberation movement and serves as a time reflection, education, and celebration. Here's a more detailed look at why we celebrate Pride Month. Commemoration of Stonewall. The month of June is especially chosen because it marks the anniversary of Stonewall riots, a pivotal event in LGBTQIA plus history, where patrons of the Stonewall in New York City fought back against police raids. Celebrating LGBTQIA plus history. Pride Month is a time to celebrate the contributions of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer individuals to history, culture, society, raising awareness and education. It's a period where it's a period for raising awareness about the ongoing struggles and challenges faced by the LGBTQI plus community, as well as promoting understanding and acceptance among the broader public. Accuracy and resistance. Pride Month can also be a time for advocating for LGBTQIA plus rights and resistance discrimination and violence against community. Celebrating resilience and progress. And to celebrate the resilience of the LGBTQIA plus community and the progress that has been made in terms of equality and acceptance. Supporting the fight for equality. Pride Month serves as a reminder that the fight for full LGBTQI plus equality is ongoing and that there is still work to be done. Promoting unity and inclusion is the time for LGBTQI plus individuals and allies to come together, celebrate diversity, and build a more inclusive society. Human identity and self-acceptance. Pride Month is a time for the LGBTQI plus individuals to form their identities and embrace self acceptance. And yeah, and that's the reason why we celebrate Pride Month. And not only that, we celebrate it because of what we just read and the fact that allies, people of the LGBTI plus community, and just to raise awareness pretty much. And that, you know, and yeah, the Stonewall White which began in the early morning of June 28, 1969, with a series of spontaneous protests by members of the LGBTQI plus community against a police raid at the Stonewall Inn. Gable in Greenville City. The raid which involved the arrest of patrons police short hours and like 6 days of protesting classes. More details to break down what happened. Someone in a public gable in Greenwood Village was raided by police on June 28, 1969. Police, according to history, targeted tables and establishments that served the LGBTQIA plus community, and in was no exception. Resistance. Patrons in place of someone in resisted the raid, and they propaganda outside the bar. This was a turning point, as many LGBTQI plus members had previously accepted police raids and arrests without resistance. Explanation. This turned into a riot, with protesters throwing objects at the police and chanting slogans. Police called for reinforcements and used tear gas to try to disperse the crowd. According to History National, continued protests. The riots continued for 6 days, with protests demonstrating in the streets and challenging police authority. Impact. Stonewall Inn riots are considered a major turning point in the modern day rights movement. By a new wave of activism, organizing the riots led to the formation of the new LGBTQI plus activist groups and helped bring issues of discrimination and police brutality against LGBTQI plus people to the forefront of public consciousness. And like, yeah, like it sucks that we still have to fight for our rights to exist, to even go to the bathroom if you're a trans femme, that's trans woman. Go to the woman's bathroom if you're a trans woman. Then go to the bathroom if you're a trans man, and stuff like going like and stuff. Or non-binary, or agender, or bigender, and stuff like that. And you're gay, bi, pansexual, peace, and stuff like that. Like, it sucks that people still to this day can't accept, their kids or their friends who are part of the LGBTQIA plus community. And yeah, and how can you help, help bring, the forefront of being accepting of your friend or family that may be struggling with their gender identity or sexuality or both. One way that you can do it is by asking them questions and going, what name do you want to go by and what pronouns do you want to go by? And allowing them to experiment with makeup or clothing or just clothing if they're trash mask or makeup if they're into. There's no one way to be a man, woman, or woman, or both, or neither. And by allowing them to experiment with their gender identity and their appearance and stuff like that. And yeah, and the reason why I'm making this video today is because of the fact that this was requested by a subscriber, and we did 2 live streams, and today's the day. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And yeah, another way that you can accept is by just not being by allowing them to feel safe and seen and accepted, by being able to talk to you about stuff like this, without being scared and worried, about being being like no longer being friends with you and stuff. I know that many of you that may be watching that don't understand the LGBTQI plus community. Sometimes I gotta do is realize, if you may not understand it, maybe be confusing. Understand why someone who's born male identifies as a woman, and then someone is born female or girl or whatever wants to identify as a man or neither or both. Understand that that's their way of defining themselves, and you can't always put a box in front of people. You know, we'll try to put a box, be like, you, this is who you are according to me, because this is what makes me feel more comfortable talking. If you have that type of mindset, you tell a person straight up, you don't really care about them. Like, people tell them that you don't have unconditional love for them. You have conditional love. That makes sense. And here, what's the difference between on and yeah. Unconditional love is love that's given without any strings attached or expectations for something in return. It's love that remains steadfast and unchanging, regardless of the actions or flaws of the person being loved. Conditional love, on the other hand, is love that is spent on certain conditions being met, such as behavic behaviors, achievements, or qualities. Unconditional love. No expectations. It's about loving someone for who they are, regardless of their flaws and mistakes. It's separable from one person. The love doesn't change even if the person being loved makes a mistake or disappoints. Now, my parents' love for the child being if the child makes a bad choice. Conditional love. Depending on conditions, love is tied to specific behaviors or achievements. Can fluctuate. The love may increase or decrease depending on whether the conditions are met. For example, a woman or a married partner loving someone because they met external expectations, such as being a successful or good provider. So, for LGBTQIA plus, if your friend or brother or now sister or what's it called for you know to be more than a neutral sibling comes out as male or female, becomes as a woman or man or both or neither, then you say then if you say no, it's not you, it's just a face, that that is con- that is conditional love you have for them. That is conditional love. And you're putting pressure on them to be someone that they're not. But if you say, hey, accept it for who you are, or I may not understand this, but I would support you and try to try my best. And I may make mistakes and call you the wrong pronouns or the wrong name at times, but I'm not doing it to hate. I'm doing it because it's something I never understand before. And that is unconditional, meaning that you'll love your sibling no matter what, or friend. When I say love a friend, that doesn't mean boyfriend or girlfriend or partner or a significant other. That just means you love your friend for who they are no matter what. That can also mean partner, significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, stuff like. And yeah, and the reason why I want to put this in the video because I feel like if I didn't, then it wouldn't be, and this would have been just wouldn't make sense. And yeah, why you like this and why you should support people in LGBTQ plus community. Why you should support the LG supporting the LGBTQI plus individuals and communities is crucial for fostering a more inclusive and equitable society. By supporting LGBTQI plus rights, we contribute to the well-being of individuals from a more diverse and tolerant society and advance human rights overall. Here's a more detailed look at why this support is so important. Health and well-being. LGBTQIA plus individuals experience higher rates of mental health issues, including depression, anxiety, suicidal orientation due to discrimination and stigma. Supportive environments and informative spaces can significantly improve the mental health and well-being of the LGBTQI plus individuals, particularly youth. Access to inclusive healthcare and resources is essential for addressing unique health challenges faced by LGBTQI plus individuals, including disparities in access to care and insurance. Discrimination and stigma can lead to poor health outcomes, including increased risk of abuse and HIV infection. Also, in economic equality, LGBTQIA plus individuals often face discrimination in employment, housing, and education, leading to economic hardship and social isolation. Supporting the LGBTQIA plus and policies ensures equal access to opportunity resources, promoting economic stability and social inclusion. By advocating for non-discrimination laws and policies can create a more leveling playing field for LGBTQI plus individuals to thrive. Human rights and justice. Supporting the LGBTQI plus rights is a matter of basic dignity and equality, showing that all individuals have the right to live freely and authentically without fear of discrimination or violence is a fundamental principle of justice. Actually, the opposing discrimination and advocating for LGBTQI plus contribute to a more just and equitable society. What's your benefits and allies? Being an ally can offer opportunities to learn, grow, expand one's understanding of the LGBTQI plus identities and experiences. It can also empower individuals to take on active role in creating a more inclusive and accepting world. By supporting the LGBTQI plus individuals, allies can contribute to a more diverse and tolerant society where everyone feels valued and respected and safe. Don't say that to everyone, but I just want to put that. Education and awareness. Inclusive education can help students feel safe and happy with their identities, fostering a sense of belonging and self-esteem. It also promotes empathy and understanding, helping students to develop a stronger sense of social justice and responsibility. By incorporating LGBTI plus issues into issues into the curriculum, schools can create a more inclusive and welcoming environment for all students. In conclusion, supporting the LGBTQI plus individuals and communities is not just a matter of social justice, but also a matter of individual well-being, social and economic equality, and human rights. By actively advocating for LGBTQI plus rights and creating inclusive environments, we can also contribute to a more just, equitable, and thriving society for all. And yeah, and so this is about like why do we celebrate Pride Month? Because of all of this, and that and that sentence is for educating purposes. And yeah, like yeah, and I'm not gonna Google this, but yeah, you know what? You know what? And yeah, like pretty much yeah, like I just wish that people were just more accepting. But this is how you can be more accepting towards people, just by being open minded, by being willing to learn, and by willing to you know see the other person's point of view before you say anything, before you even judge someone. Because being LGBTQ during these years in 2025 and 2026 or 2027 can be hard because of the fact that, you know, a lot of people right now they might not be able to get on HOT or with this hormone replacement therapy. And So yeah, what is the or gender from hormone therapy? GAHT. Okay. Oh yeah, makes sense. Okay, yeah. Also called hormone replacement therapy (HRT) or transgender hormone therapy. The form of hormone therapy in which sex hormones and other hormonal medicines are administered for transgender or gender non-conforming individuals for the purpose of more closely aligning their gender, pretty much. And yeah, like making it so that it makes more sense and makes it feel more whole and stuff like that. But you don't have to go on HRT or gender hormone therapy to be to be trans and stuff like that. You don't have to go on HRT to be a woman or be a man, stuff like that. Because it's your own journey, it's your own experience of being trans and stuff like that. And when people say, "Oh, you don't sound femme or you don't sound masc," don't listen to those people. Those people just don't know what they're talking about, and those people are just someone that won't learn, don't want to learn. And yeah, and saying that, I have to say is that everything that you learn today, never gonna be as open minded and just change the mind like that. I wish that was the case, but sadly, it is not. And yeah, as I said, how can you be more accepting by asking a pretty question going like, what name do you want to go by? What pronouns do you go by? Do you want to use? Any of them picked outfits, makeup, or up to them learn how to save or how to, do stuff and treat them how you treat anybody else, like with respect and dignity, and not making them feel scared or anxious and have them have dysphoria. What is dysphoria? Dysphoria is a general term referring to a state of profound unease, dissatisfaction, dissatisfaction, satisfaction, or unhappiness. It can be a symptom of various mental health conditions or general experience. In a psychiatric context, dysphoria often involves feelings of depression, anxiety, resignation, or irritability. I'm sorry, I can't say certain words. General dumbness. Dysphoria is a feeling of being unhappy, uneasy, or dissatisfied, often accompanied by physiological distress or mood. This refers to a constant state of unease, vacation, which can include symptoms like irritability, stress, aggression, or unhappiness. Mental health context. Dysphoria can be such as conditions like depression, anxiety, stress, and and substance use disorder. Gender dysphoria. This is a specific type of dysphoria where an individual experiences distress due to mismatch between their gender identity and their assigned sex at birth. Body dysphoria. This is another specific type of dysphoria where individuals experience unease or dissatisfaction with their physical appearance, often related to body image issues or disorders like body dysmorphic disorder. And yeah, and by using the one name and pronouns on some on someone that may be non-binary, agender, trans, or under the trans umbrella, terms under the trans umbrella. The trans umbrella is a broad term used to occupy visual gender identities expressed as fall outside the traditional gender norms. It includes, but not limited to, individuals who identify as transgender, non-binary, career, gender fluid, those who may not fit neatly into the binary male female category. Here's more detailed look at some common terms under the trans umbrella. transgender, a general term for people who use and whose gender identity differs from the sex they were assigned at birth. Can be further categorized into trans men assigned female at birth and trans men assigned male at birth. Some people who identify as trans may also identify as non-binary or genderqueer, non-binary. An umbrella term for gender identities that fall outside of the traditional male-female binary includes identities like agender, bigender, genderfluid, genderqueer, and others. Some non-binary individuals identify as trans, but others may not. Genderqueer, a term used by some individuals who do not identify with either male or female, may not fit neatly into the traditional binary. Some genderqueer people may also identify transgender, where others may not. Genderfluid, a gender identity where the person's gender may change over time or different contexts. Some genderfluid people may identify as trans, where others may not. Intersex, a term referring to individuals born with reproductive or sexual autonomy that does not fit typical definitions of male or female. Intersex individuals may or may not identify as transgender, and some may identify as non-binary or genderqueer. Cross-dressers, people who wear clothes typically associated with the opposite sex but may or may not identify as transgender. Well, some cultures may identify as transgender, many do not. Back from people who engage in theatrical performances, often involving exaggerated satirical gender roles, may or may not identify as trans. Important note: trans bodies are fluid content, and the line between these terms can be blurred. Individuals may generate multiple identities or combination of them. And yeah, like gender expressing, bigender, semigender, and yeah, dead naming. Ooh, you know what? This was gonna be a good one. Like dead naming. Dead naming a term usually associated with transgender people who have changed their name. Dead naming is when someone is referred to using the one name they. Okay. Why is dead naming so bad? Dead naming, referring to someone's by the name they no longer use, is helpful because it denies their identity. It could cause distress. It is a form of misgendering, as disregards their chosen name and pretending reveals their transgender status without their permission. It can lead to feelings of devalidation, disrespect, and even increased risk of discrimination and harassment. Here's why dead naming is problematic. Denies identity. It doesn't acknowledge the individual child's name, which is a critical part of their identity and self-expression. Outing. It can reveal someone's transgender status to others, potentially putting them at risk of negative reactions or discrimination. Emotional distress. Dead can cause significant emotional distress, including anxiety, dysphoria, and feelings of self-doubt. Lack of respect. It shows a lack of respect for the person of identity. It can make them feel devalued. Attempt of violence. In some cases, dynamic can contribute to a hostile environment, increase the risk of violence against transgender individuals. And yeah, and that's why we kind of celebrate Pride Month in June, because of all this stuff. That naming, not using the correct pronouns. Why is it wanted to use the where the use the use the let's go press B preferred product. Yeah. Using the preferred pronouns is crucial for demonstrating respect and creating an inclusive environment. Misgendering someone can be hurtful and invalidate their identity, potentially leading to feelings of disrespect and marginalization. By using preferred pronouns, respect, and affirmed identity. Using person's preferred pronouns simply a powerful way to show respect for their identity and gender they choose to assert. Inclusivity and belonging. When people feel their pronouns are respected, it fosters a sense of belonging and inclusivity and creating a more welcoming environment for everyone, who, who especially those who identify as gender diverse. That's what I say who, that's why I said 10 times. Avoiding assumptions. Everyone has unique pronouns and pointing to not make assumptions based on appearance or name. Ethical pronouns self-respect and ensure that accurate communication, safety and well-being. Mentoring someone can have a negative impact on their mental health and well-being, particularly for transgender individuals. Using the correct pronouns can help create a safe and supportive environment. In essence, respect respecting pronouns is a fundamental act of kindness and inclusion that contributes to a positive and respectful society. So if I can't say it in words, that's who I am, and yeah, and that's why we celebrate Pride Month because of all of this. Because people may not understand the LGBTQI plus, you know, community, but one way you could do it by using the person's preferred pronouns and name, and by not they naming them. By they naming them, you're saying I don't care for you, and then you only care for them conditionally, and not unconditionally, as we talked about earlier. And yeah, like if you reuse the preferred name and pronouns, makes them feel seen, safe, and heard. And sometimes if someone uses person's preferred name or pronouns for the very first time, the person may cry out of happiness because of the fact that they never felt so seen and respected before. Take me for example. I finally have a fan group that is by like 4 to 5 friends that accept me for being trans, and they use my preferred name and pronouns. And I show them my state ID when I got it, and it says my date name and my birth sex, still but they still call me Evie, and you see her pronouns. But that's who they know that I am, because I told them, hey, I'm a woman. I didn't tell them that, but I said it multiple times, and they respect that. And I know for a lot of people in family that are closed-minded, homophobic, transphobic, it's not that easy. Why are people homo and transphobic? Huh. No, transphobia deals with the fear of hatred towards someone that expresses a gender identity that is different from the gender at birth. Homophobia deals with the fear and hatred towards people who have sex, sexual orientation that is different than that heterosexual, aka gay, yes, lesbian, bisexual, pansexual, and yeah. And what are the causes of homophobia? Homophobia, the fear of, or in some case, discrimination against homosexuality stems from a complex interplay of factors including religious disabilities, cultural norms, fear of unknown, and do not internalize oppression. Socialization, where individuals learn societal values and norms, can also contribute to development of homophobic beliefs. Here's a more detailed look at the potential causes, societal, cultural factors. People often learn negative attitudes towards homosexuality through their family, community, and media, which can lead to internalized homophobia. Hom- homo- Heteronormality. The idea that homosexuality is the only normal sexual orientation can create a sense of otherness and discomfort for LGBTQI plus individuals, according to the National Institute of Health. Fear of the unknown, lack of familiarity or understanding about LGBTQI plus people can fuel the fear and prejudice, according to very well mind. Physiological and personal factors, internalized homophobia. Individuals may internalize negative societal messages about homosexuality, leading to feelings of self-hatred and anxiety. Psychological issues. Some studies suggest that homophobia may be linked to certain personality traits such as hostility and anger, according to Live Science. Huh. Anxiety and defensive mechanisms. Psychological theories propose that homophobia may stem from unconscious anxiety about the possibility of being or becoming homosexual, which is bi, gay, pansexual, and so on and so forth. Religious and ideological factors. Religious context, religious texts and teachings. Some religious texts and traditions have been used to justify discrimination against the LGBTQI plus individuals, according to very well mind. Political and cultural values. Hopefully, again, be rooted in political ideology that promote tourism general and heteronormative views, according to the National Institute of Health. Formalism and history of practices. The forming of heterosexual norms, colonial practice often enforced homosexuality as the only acceptable form of relationship, according to the marginalization of LGBTQI plus individuals, according to very well. Lack of education and awareness. Limited understanding. Insignificant education about LGBTQI plus for any issues can contribute, okay, say that word, negative stereotypes and fears. According to very well mind. Very, according to very well mind. Why are people Transphobia defined as negative attitudes, beliefs, or actions towards transgender people or transness in general is a complex issue with multiple contributing factors that includes lack of understanding and exposure. Many people have limited familiarity with transgender individuals and non-binary identities, leading to fear or discomfort with what they don't understand. Misinformation and stereotypes learned from various sources such as home, school, religious institutions, and media can contribute to biased beliefs and actions, rigid gender beliefs, and social norms. Society often presents cisgender identities as the norm, normalization, and devaluing transgender and other gender identities. Some some individuals adhere to strict gender binary, believing male and female are rigid and mutually inclusive categories, and may see transgender people as a threat to their own gender identity and engage in a group binary protection. This transphobia can be rooted in oppositional sexism, the belief that genders are strictly defined and separate, with distinct attributes and desires. Political and social factors. Anti-transgender legalization and policies restrict transgender people's access to resources, public space, and even their right to live openly. Harmful and internalization media representations compute representation. I don't know why I can't talk. Representations contribute to segmentation and fear. Physical manipulation of gender values and limitation of gender values and the spread of misinformation can fuel negative attitudes and reinforce Transphobia is linked to systems of oppression like the pan- panacry, panic, or I cannot say that word, which upholds rigid gender roles and places men in positions of authority. Information bias and illusory correlation. People tend to seek out information that comes to existing beliefs, including stereotypes about transgender people. When individuals encounter negative events at transgender people together, they may form an illusory correlation, believing the negative events caused by a transgender person. Other factors: transphobia can be an extension of homophobia and misogyny, with transgender people fear for challenging traditional gender norms. Some some individuals may feel threatened by the perceived threat to traditional gender roles and associated values. Fear of unfamiliar people and discomfort with sexual desires can also contribute to negative attitudes. Some individuals may support transphobic views out of fear of social isolation or discrimination. It's important, it's important to remember that phobia is a form of prejudice and discrimination. Similar to racism, sexism it has serious consequences for well-being and safety of transgender individuals. And yeah, and that is why we celebrate Pride Month in June. Because even though, like, yeah, social norms, people just start up in businesses and yeah, like, I know like this was a long video, but I really just wanted to really get into deep into like the history and just sort of why you should support people who are trans, trans transgender or underneath the trans umbrella, and why their name and why using the correct pronouns and using the correct name matters, and how you can support and learn where transphobia comes from and where homophobia comes from. So we can all learn together as a community. And I feel like when we learn more as a community, we can inform others how to be more open minded, how to be more accepting towards people who are part of the LGBTQI plus community, and help those who may not understand it be more open minded. I know that may not work for every single person who is closed minded and homophobic and transphobic, but for those who just really just just too scared to talk to people who are trans or part of the LGBTQI plus community, I feel like they're gonna be ridiculed or be made fun of or harassed or hurt, then like remember that people may not do it on purpose. The fact that they don't understand it or that come from religious factors or from the way that their family raised them, and that even if they never identify as LGBTQI plus and stuff like that, and when they first learn about it for the first time, it may be homophobic, transphobic, but when they hopefully learn that it's just people just using different name and pronoun and or names and pronouns and stuff like that. And yeah, you know what people don't really talk about in these videos is what's a system in I think it is. Because sex system refers to society sucks to know that. Okay, it's not what I wanted, but yeah. So I feel like I'm gonna leave it here. So this is why we celebrate Pride Month, because of the fact that people may not understand why we celebrate it and may not understand people who are LGBTQIA plus, and it stems from family values and how the kid was raised and how the parent was raised also, and how someone views it via the media, also political views. I'm not being political, so don't. But no. Please, blah, blah, blah. Don't be political in comics. You're not. And yeah, and this all started back in June 28th, 1969. When did Weimar? And yeah, like when did did between 1969 through July 3rd, 1960. Yeah, damn. And yeah, like yeah, this is why we celebrate Pride Month, because of the fact that we're trying to be teach others who are closed-minded and push for acceptance and bills and fight for people who are trans, non-binary, agender, gender fluid, gender queer, or both, or neither, to use the bathrooms that they want to use. Make it easier for people to get jobs, to get education, and people to be seen as their preferred gender identity and stuff like that. So that there's no, so that people aren't so emergalized, internalized, and stuff like. And people get it wrong when people like, oh, well, like or you're born male or female at birth, and you have a penis or a vagina. That makes you either male or female. And that's not really true at all. But sex and gender are different because of the fact that is is gender and sex the same thing? No, gender and sex gender and sex are distinct but related contexts. Like refers to refers to the biological characteristics that define a person as male, female, or intersex based on factors such as hormones, and reproductive organs. Gender is a social and cultural construct that economic passes a person's self-identification as male, female, non-binary, or other genders, as well as these social roles, expectations, and behaviors associated with these identities. Therefore, while sex is determined by biology, gender is influenced by social factors and personal experiences. It's important to note that these concepts are not ordinary and can vary widely among individuals. And yeah, and the people saying that well, if a penis that makes you a man, or you have a vagina that makes you a woman, not really true because the fact that can a woman be born as male born? Yes, a woman can be born with eternal genitalia that appear male all through. This is intersex condition, also known as 46XX intersex. In this case, a person is born with XX chromosomes typically female ovaries and uterus, but also internal generally resemble those of male. Intersex conditions. Intersex refers to variations in sex characteristics that don't define typical definitions of male or female. These variations can include differences in chromosomes, internal organs, and external genitalia. 46XX in 46XX in 46XX intersex, a person has a genetic makeup of with female XX chromosome, but also internal genitalia may appear male due to exposure to excess male hormones before birth. This condition can be caused by several factors, including exposure to hormones during development. Examples: a child with 46XX intersex may have a large clitoris that looks like a penis and a fused fetus that resembles a nodal there. Exposure to exposure to aggressive but a child with 46 as intersex may have a large clitoris that looks like a penis and a fused labia that resembles a scrotum. Other intersex conditions. These are other intersex conditions where a person may have male chromosomes XY, but external genitalia that appear male, appear female or ambiguous. Medical invitation for intersex can include surgery to reconstruct genitalia and hormonal treatment. And in a male be born with yes. Assigned male at birth can be born with some or all female psychological conditions known as intersex. This is due to a variety of factors that can define the development of reproductive organs during fetal development. Intersex conditions and their causes. 46XY intersex. This occurs when a person has a difficult male chromosome XY, but their external gender may be completely formed, ambiguous, or appear female. This can be caused by issues with testosterone production or the body's ability to use testosterone. 5. After deficiency. This condition prevents the conversion of testosterone to testosterone without long word. This is critical for male sexual development. As a result, the external genitalia may appear female clitoris at birth. Electron sensitivity syndrome. This genetic condition prevents the body from responding to leading to female appearing genitalia despite having male chromosomes. Present Mullerian duct syndrome. In this condition, males develop a uterus and fallopian tubes, which are typically female reproductive organs, along with their normal male reproductive. Also, 11 point. Intersex is a neutral variation. Natural variation. It's important to understand when sex conditions are a normal part of human diversity. Sex traits can be present at birth or discovered later. Sometimes sex traits are noticeable at birth, while other times they may not be until later in life, during puberty, or even later. Some individuals may not have a vaginas. In some cases, individuals with intersex traits may not develop, and many sex individuals can despite having differences in their autonomy, chromosomes, or hormones. Many intersex people can still reproduce eggs that participate. Pretty much, yeah. Would I put this in was because of the fact that, people think that, oh, if you're born male with, a penis, you're a man. If you're born with a vagina, you're a woman. But let's say like this happens where you're born with 46XX or 46XY, aka being intersex, and all that. This is different from being born man or being born a girl and stuff like that. And then going on later on, starting HRT, and then because not publicly as socially as trans stuff like or by gender fluid or so on and so forth. But I really want to put this in to showcase the fact that by just saying, oh, but you're born with these body parts, it's not always true. Because of the fact that it can cause gender dysphoria and discomfort in someone by saying that, and it can out them as well, and you may not know and stuff like. And by asking someone, "Oh, how many chromosomes do you have?" That doesn't make sense too. So I know that doesn't make sense for Pride Month, so to speak. I don't know, but yeah, this was an dedicated time video, a 43-minute type one, 45-minute one, close to an hour. And the reason why I wanted to make this was because of the stone wall. And yeah, like, and yeah, like, and yeah, like, if you like, even if you don't understand the LGBTQI plus community, stuff like that, you also have to understand that there are people as well. That by we listen to media, by listening to what the president has to say, or what every government has to say, it's not always true. It's like a president saying people who are short can't eat green beans. You know, something the whole entire world will believe that. And then when someone all of a sudden when someone who's short like 5'4" or has dwarfism sees that, it's like it's green beans. All some people just gonna be mad. Something like that. When people see someone that's trans or gay, bi, pan, gender fluid, gender queer, and you know and stuff like that, and be like, you're not your gender. I feel you now sweating because you're trans or you gender fluid. And it's just like not even like people who are trans don't do it to violate, to go to the woman's bathroom or go to the man's bathroom. Because some people will pretend to be trans to harass people in bathrooms. Yes, that is a thing, but it doesn't mean that every single trans person does that and stuff like that. I would never do that at all. Because all I want to do, go to the bathroom, wash my hands, and get out. And for one, I'm scared by using the woman bathroom, stuff like that. Because of the fact that I don't want to be harassed or looked weird or be hurt or harmed in any way possible. So I kind of strive away from doing it. When at my job, I kind of strive away from cleaning the men's and women's bathroom. And I'm that scared of doing it. Because my anxiety doesn't allow me to. Because of the prejudice and homophobia and transphobia that I have against trans people and non-binary and gender diverse people in general. And this is why we celebrate Pride Month every single year to advocate to um advocate to uh whatever the other word is. Protest. Yes, okay, the word was right there. Protest as well. Yeah, I'm done. Yeah. But yeah. This is why we celebrate Pride Month. Is to protest and to educate and to bring acceptance and to be seen as who we really are without fear or judgment from others. And you may be like, why are straight cis people going to pride events? And no, that's the wrong thing to think about. Have a wrong. That's a wrong mindset to have. Someone that is straight cis can totally go to a pride event. 100% they're allowed to, because if they're an ally, which means they support the LGBTQI plus community straight up. And here's the thing: let's say they're taking their cousin or the friend or the family member who going to the pride parade for the very first time, and being the preferred gender or the sexuality or both for the first time ever being open about it without fear or judgment. Just stuff like that. And for me, it was really scary at first, taking that first step, taking that first plunge and being who I truly am in life, because of the fact that I didn't know how people are going to react, or how people are going to see me, and stuff like that. I was scared. And by allowing your friends, family, and coworkers, or anyone pretty much to be who they truly are inside without fear, judgment, and just allowing them to use their preferred name and pronouns, you feel way more safer and seen and accepted, and will put down the rate of being suicidal a whole lot ton. Now them to get the medical that they need, medical care that they need, like going on hormone replacement therapy, or getting SOS, sex reassignment surgery, and stuff like that. It's something that makes them feel more seen. But again, not all trans people go on HOT or get the SOX as surgery. And yeah, I know this video was a long one, was a longer video, but I really want to go into depth of why we support the LG, why we do Pride Month every single year, and how and where homophobia comes from, where transphobia comes from, and what day naming does to someone, what does not using the preferred pronoun does to someone, what causes gender dysphoria, and so on and so forth. Because I really wanted to go into depth, not only into depth, but like if someone like, and also the saying that, oh, if you're born with a penis and vagina, it's just wrong thing to say. And also always assuming that if you're now a woman, then you want to have a man's dick in you. That's wrong in every single way possible, because of the fact that it makes a person who is trans uncomfortable as well. There's another form of transphobia that comes from many other factors that we talked about in today's video. And yeah, like, also someone who is identified as a woman, identify as a man, doesn't mean that they always want to, have sex with men. And that's wrong. That's wrong in many ways. But they could be gay, bi, pansexual, ace, or whatever. Or may not be someone who wants to just have sex with someone at all. That's wrong. Don't assume that about someone. For someone like me, I don't want someone that I can talk to, watch movies with, and just relax with. And just have someone that I can like talk to when I'm feeling down or dealing with dysphoria, and someone I can just talk to when I'm down. Anymore. Get to a point that I just really want one. Not someone that only wants sex and stuff like that. That's just one. Like I want someone that's truly is down to earth and just respected. And that's hard when you're trans, and when you definitely are both trans and mixed or black or any other race or ethnicity, pretty much. Like it is just messed up to always think that when you identify as a woman, also you want a man's dick in your butt. It's like it's weird. It's weird, and it's weird and inappropriate to really assume of someone. It makes it really feel uncomfortable as well. And hopefully you did enjoy this 1 hour and 4 minute video that we did. We're going to go into depth into the Stonewall riots and why we celebrate Pride Month. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and then we're gonna join Discord, join Blue Sky, and yeah, because someone was like, hey, I know what you used to do for Pride Month, and you do a video like this, and now we did. And honestly, there was a lot of fun for me to do because for one, I learned a whole lot of stuff I didn't know about before, and hopefully you all did learn a lot of stuff as well. And I catch you all in the next one. See ya.